Thanks for joining us tonight on the Mitv Primetime News. My name is Benjamin Peters, and straight to the headlines tonight. Nigeria exits recession. Federal government striking doctors meet tomorrow. And death toll rises in Borno cholera outbreak. On the foreign scene tonight, Lesotho Army chief shot dead. And from the world of sports, Simeone extends Atletico deal. And now to the details. The National Bureau of Statistics, NBS, on Tuesday said Nigeria's exited its worst economic recession in more than 2 decades, notching up growth of 0.55% in the second quarter of 2017. Data showed that the economic recovery was driven by improved performance of oil, agriculture, manufacturing, and trade sectors of the economy. Since the first quarter of 2016, the Nigerian economy had contracted for 5 consecutive quarters, the NBS disclosed. The West African powerhouse slipped into the recession for the first time in more than 2 decades in August 2016. Nigeria, which depends on oil sector for 70% of state revenues and 90% of export earnings, has been battered by lower oil prices since mid-2014, which have slashed government revenues, weakened the currency, and caused dollar shortages. And President Muhammadu Issoufou of Niger Republic on Tuesday arrived Katsina en route Daura to meet with President Muhammadu Buhari. The Nigerian president arrived Umaru Musa Yar'Adua International Airport at about 11:15 a.m. It was received by Katsina State Governor Aminu Masari, Secretary to the State Government Mustapha Inuwa, Chief of Staff Government House Bello Mandia, among others. On his arrival at the airport, President Muhammadu Issoufou reviewed parade mounted by detachments of the Nigerian Army, Natsinte Barrack in Katsina. Thereafter, both Issoufou and Masari were airlifted by helicopter to Daura to meet with Buhari. The meeting was, however, not unconnected to security and bilateral ties between the two West African countries. And the Center for Civil Society and Justice as a coalition of civil society groups and organizations spread across the 6 geopolitical zones of the Federal Republic of Nigeria has called on Nigerians to make an unambiguous statement on the need for peace and unity. The CCSJ aligns itself with the patriotic and clarion call on Nigerians to unite for peace, progress, and development. The group, in a peaceful rally across the Abuja metropolis, said it is disturbed by the developments in the National Assembly and the judiciary, whose conduct is at variance with the executive, thus calling on both institutions of government to do a rethink. The group, which was received by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, aligned itself with the presidential broadcast of President Muhammadu Buhari that the unity of Nigeria is settled, and urged all persons, groups, and other sponsors agitating on one cause or another to stop the assault.
Nigeria, you know, what we have had before in Nigeria and Biafran Civil War in 1969 to 1970, 1967 to 1970, the catastrophe and the cataclysm is yet to be understood by the world, not only in Nigeria. It is dangerous. Nobody should talk of disunity, because disunity will come with war. It will come with civil strife. It will come with insurgency. It will come with counter-insurgency. The peace is what we stand for.
Earlier today, we were told that Nigeria has officially exited from recession. That shows that we have a government that is working for us. We have a government that is interested in our welfare. We have a government that is interested in our well-being. Recession came due to some mistakes of the past, and in just about a year, the government battled it, and as of today, we are officially out of recession.
The death toll from a cholera outbreak in restive northeast Nigeria has risen to 21, with most of the victims living in a camp for people displaced by Boko Haram violence, the health ministry said Tuesday. On Saturday, the ministry had said the cholera toll was 14 in the town of Maiduguri, with most of the victims living in a camp for people displaced by Boko Haram violence. The total number of suspected cholera cases is now 375 in Maiduguri. Most of the suspected cases and deaths are in Muna Garage, a camp for displaced people on the outskirts of Maiduguri, while other victims come from neighboring districts. The government and NGOs are working to contain the outbreak, which has spread to the town of Dikwa, 60 kilometers away, where 5 cases had been reported. And still on health matters, resident doctors at the Ladoke Akintola University of Technology Teaching Hospital, Osogbo, are currently meeting to harmonize their decision on the strike declared by their national body on the 21-day ultimatum by the state chapter of the Nigerian Medical Association. Despite the declaration of the industrial action, the visit to Lautech Teaching Hospital, Osogbo, by MITV crew showed that activities were going on smoothly. Some of the resident doctors were on duty as a Tuesday morning, awaiting the directive of their local chapter before joining the strike. Correspondent Abbas Akoniji reports that feelers from some of the doctors suggest that they cannot be ruled out of joining the strike after their meeting. The Nigerian Medical Association had earlier given the Osun State government a 21-day ultimatum last week, after which members will commence an indefinite strike over the non-payment of their entitlements.
Osun has also declared, also taking actions which we fully support. And these are our parent bodies. We belong to Osun, we belong to NAD. So we are going to do a meeting, an extraordinary general meeting by 2 p.m. today. And we are going to harmonize our thoughts. We are going to take the thoughts of all members, and we are going to take a decisive decision on this matter.
His government should be alive to their responsibilities and treat doctors the way they should be treated. I mean, these demands are not out of this world. They are genuine demands, they are legit demands that everybody, including the government, has attested to. So I don't know why we keep playing politics.
Yes, I'm aware that they've started a national strike, but as at the moment, we are moving on in Latex Teaching Hospital, awaiting further development if there's any to be any. For now, the Latex is still on. So, but if there's any new development, we'll let you know.
And following the strike action embarked upon by the National Association of Resident Doctors nationwide, a partial compliance by members of the state chapter of the association was observed by MITV News crew. Our correspondent Abidemi Sikiru, who visited hospitals within the state, reports that the industrial action was enforced at all hospitals except the State University Teaching Hospital, where resident doctors noted its members will join the strike on Thursday after an accreditation of the surgery unit of the university. President of the Association of Resident Doctors of the hospital, Dr. Tunji Olaoye, submitted that the members had earlier agreed on the accreditation before the decision announced by the national body. Also speaking, Chief Medical Director of Ekiti State University Teaching Hospital, Dr. Kolawole Ogundipe, disclosed that members have not joined the industrial action due to the accreditation. He called on them not to embark on the strike because of patience.
With the governments, one of the cardinals among them is the issue of non-payment of salaries. You can see that in Ekiti State, resident doctors in this hospital have been owed 6 months' salary. Likewise, our colleagues in Osun State that have been on half salary, same in Oyo State that has also been in half salary. Then we now talk about our colleagues in federals that have been on arrears, that they have not been receiving their complete salary for weeks. for months.
And our people are decided to consider our local issues and put in the right perspective before joining the strike so that we have good cordial relationship. And I think I also want to appreciate the HRD exit chapter for relating with management in that clear perspective. I think the fact that we ascribe responsibility only to the government is why we are so we are. We all have joint responsibility in ensuring that all our institutions are working very well. And as such, I will request that every stakeholder concerned in making the system in Nigeria, making the system in State to work, should put their hand and do their best in making the system work very well.
Meanwhile, the federal government is expected to meet with leadership of the National Association of Resident Doctors (NARD) on Wednesday to resolve the ongoing industrial action by the doctors. A statement signed by the Deputy Director, Press, in the Ministry of Labour and Employment, Samuel Olowokere, said the leadership of the striking doctors, the leadership of the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, and officials of the Federal Ministry of Health are expected to be part of the meeting scheduled for 12:30 p.m. at the conference hall of the Federal Ministry of Labour and Employment. The doctors had on Monday embarked on an indefinite strike to press home their demands few days after signing a memorandum of understanding with the government after a meeting which lasted over 12 hours. Towards apprehending the strike action embarked upon by the National Association of Resident Doctors (NARD), the Honorable Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, is scheduled to hold a crucial reconciliatory meeting with the President and Executive of NARD, President and Executive of the Nigerian Medical Association, NMA, and other stakeholders. And here in Lagos, Governor Akinwumi Ambode of Lagos State on Tuesday said his administration will ensure the state's judicial system work in cooperation with the police to guarantee a safe and prosperous Lagos. The governor spoke when he received the outgoing Commissioner of Police in the state, Mr. Fatai Owosheni, and welcomed the new Commissioner of Police, Mr. Edgar Imohime, at the Lagos House Ikeja. Ambode commended Owosheni for his selfless service in ensuring safe and secured Lagos, reassured Imohime of his support. He described Imohime as one who understood the criminal architecture of what the state portends.
We took security as the most serious factor in growing the economy of Lagos. You've been part of that history. You've been part of that achievement. 26 months down the line, you've actually shown that you were a partner in progress with this state. You laid everything down here to make sure that when you look back 2.5 years now, the security trajectory has been on the positive leg.
Earlier, Imohime, who was a former Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations in the state, declared that it will no longer be business as usual for criminals and hoodlums, as well as corrupt police officers. Also speaking, Owosheni, who had been redeployed to the Force Criminal Investigation and Criminal Department in Abuja, thanked the governor for his support and security agencies and sustenance of the Lagos State Security Trust Fund.
I want to assure His Excellency that during my own watch, he will have no cause for complaints or concern. We will serve the people of Lagos with all our hearts and all our might. Let me use this opportunity also to warn criminals, hoodlums, that it will not be business as usual.
Formally inform Your Excellency of my redeployment to the Force Criminal Investigation and Intelligence Department in Abuja, and of course the posting of Acting CP Imohime Edgar as the new Commissioner of Police, Lagos State. I believe strongly that he is very, very capable of assuming that responsibilities.
The All Progressive Congress APC in Lagos has held a by-election primary to fill the vacant seat in the State House of Assembly, and this follows the death of Ademola Alimi, representing ETI-OSA 1 constituency. Nohim Adams emerged the party's flag bearer after he polled a total vote of 294 to defeat 5 other aspirants.
Quite unfortunately, we lost one of our, respected members of the State Assembly from this local government, ETI-OSA. ETI-OSA precisely, ETI-OSA East. So to the glory of God, of course, there must be a replacement. So as a party, we are putting in everything to ensure that our own candidates who will serve in the same vein as Alimi has served, the late Alimi. And that's why we're trying to give us Lagos the best candidate today. And that's why we're having a clean, clear, transparent, and honestly conducted election.
The general election comes up on September 30, 2017. And still on internal party politics, members of the Anambra State Executive Committee of the Labour Party have suspended the state chairman, Comrade Luke Izionu-Ukwuesa, on issues bordering on anti-party activities and gross financial embezzlement of party funds. And of course, the members, comprising 41 of the 64 statutory executive committee members, alleged that the former chairman connived with the national chairman to divert the state funds meant for the party on the alleged instruction to pay such into private account of the party national chairman Alhaji Abdulkadir Abdusalam. Reading the communique at the end of the emergency meeting held in Oka, Honorable Alex Obi Osita, state youth leader of Labour Party, disclosed that the 41 committee members unanimously in the decision moved for the suspension of the state party chairman and formed a 5-man caretaker committee headed by Comrade Uche Ugwoji as the state acting chairman.
Developments in our great party. The state ESCO met today at our party state secretariat, Oka, and after extensive deliberations on a wide range of issues, the state ESCO hereby resolved as follows. 1. That the state chairman, Comrade Luke Izionu-Ukwuesa, be immediately suspended and removed from office in accordance with Labour Party Constitution, Article 17, and that is hereby suspended and removed.
Confusion. He just came to confusion to destabilize Anambra State. All this while we have been in unity. So in connivance with the state chairman, they went there and stayed at a hotel and they collected money from people. The money we are supposed to use for this primaries, 3 million naira. I'm aware of that. They died it. They went away with it.
Constitutionally, 2/3 from the state ESCO, and we are more than 2/3 from the state ESCO. The state working committee, the chairman, local government chairman, and secretary, they're all here. They've signed and be eager to remove him.
Just watching the MITV Primetime News. When we return on the foreign